the next topic is timelines for adjudication. And again, it's all over the place. But let's start with Rohit. What's been your experience, rural versus higher employment, and then Niral, you, and then Brandon. So, Rohit, what's been your experience for adjudication?
With rural, it's been great. I've been seeing approvals in 6 months and under. High unemployments, I'm seeing them dragging comparatively. So I haven't seen one in about 18 months on a high unemployment. The rurals have been very good, but then the AOS gets stuck. So so we're kind of back to square one with saying, you've got the petition approved. Now somebody needs to pick up the AOS. And I try to explain to them that, look, please understand the difference is that it's the IPO office sitting out of DC that's adjudicating your 526. Your AOS is now being adjudicated by the immigration office, which is a different office. And then very often you're going to receive these transfer notices, which says for better efficiency, which I think is humbug, greater efficiency, we're transferring you to the California Service Center. Oh, welcome to the worst service center in the world out there. It's like saying you're going to the Chennai consulate for an interview. So I think clients need to understand. And I think something that Niral said earlier and Brandon has said, and we all agree, just managing the client's expectations is such a huge part of the work that we do besides the substantive part. So I've been seeing good adjudication results on the rural projects.
Yeah, I would say generally USCIS has done better than before in terms of adjudications. I think right now, it's also important for everyone to understand your APEAD isn't based on rural or high unemployment. On average, we're seeing those probably issue within 4 to 6 months, regardless of which category you go into. In the rural, the I-526Es, we are seeing less than 12 months in a lot of these cases, which is really, really impressive. And I think high unemployment, usually around 16, and it can stretch to 24 months. Maybe later we can discuss ways to help with that, but that's typically what we're seeing.
Got it. Brandon?
Yeah, 2 points. So, there's several of the EB-5 trade groups periodically, well, I guess pretty much on an ongoing basis, keep suing USCIS to release filing data, and we represent one of these groups in that. We have one of these suits pending. But every time one of the suits is resolved and the data comes back, it's pretty much consistently the same, which is on average, the processing time difference between a rural 526 and a high unemployment 526 is 4 months. Now, EB-5 is, Niral alluded to this a little bit at the end. EB-5 is one of the few immigration processes where you actually can have some control over your timeline. H-1B, L-1, EB-2 labor certifications, you don't. It takes the length of time it takes. EB-5, because it's your petition and not a company's petition, if you're tired of waiting, you can sue them through the so-called writ of mandamus process. And so we've gotten to the point here that we tell people, once you hit 12 months, whether, it's rural or high unemployment, and you're tired of waiting, which you will be and you should be, then exercise your rights to force USCIS to approve these cases. Like, there's no reason in a non-backlog situation why you should be waiting 18 months or more, because you don't have to. I mean, I get EB-5 is expensive, and now you have to put some extra money to actually force someone at the government to get out of their chair and work on your file. But the answer is yes. And, the marginal cost of doing a writ of mandamus versus waiting another 12 months is de minimis, in my opinion. So you're in control of your EB-5 process. If you want to sue them after 6 months, personally, I think that's a little aggressive. But some do, and I think the results have been successful, and you can do that, or wait 8, or you can just wait until the process naturally unfolds on its own accord. But you're in control of your EB-5 process. If you don't want to wait, take action.
Yep. I have some follow-up questions about the writ of mandamus, but before that, I'd just like to share that I agree, rural projects are so much faster than high unemployment, and Rohit's timeline is on point, at least with our projects, that it takes about 16 to 18 months to get a high unemployment approval and about 6 to 8 months to get a rural approval. Obviously, there are outliers. But something that really shocked us just last week is that our high unemployment project in California, the investor got an approval in four and a half months before they got their EAD and AP. And the investor sent us a screenshot of case approved and was like, what does this mean? Am I getting my EAD? And I was like, no, you're getting your green card.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, USCIS will keep the filing fees for the EAD and advanced parole. Don't even try to get those back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The same thing happened with one of my cousins in California. They filed this year in January. And on August 28th, they had their green card in their hand with a rural project. Had not heard, and just a month ago before that, they had heard on their EAD and AP. So the EAD and AP were delayed and the green card was issued by August. Like that was the quickest I have seen. And it's just bizarre, but
That's
also
fantastic.
goes back to the point that cannot predict retrogression. Like if tomorrow retrogression hits and says it's 2024, I can give you examples of my own cousin who filed in 25 and has a green card.